Alright, so we got our deer down here. The first thing we want to do is make sure she's going downhill. Let gravity do the work for you. Look at that. Through both shoulders with a dull broadhead. She ain't got much meat on her neck, does she? Good sized doe though. Alright. So this works real good with two people because you can hold those legs up, but when you're in my situation, just me, you want to, you're gonna have to make do with what you got. So what I do is you angle your knife up, kind of. If you go this way, if you try and stab it right into the deer, you're probably gonna hit the stomach or the guts, and it's gonna be a stinky mess. So just stick it in there, kind of pull with your thumb a little bit, and just kind of cut upwards. You want to be real careful not to hit the stomach. And it does stink. If you hit that stomach, it's really gonna stink. So just kind of take your knife, and I'm really not pushing too hard on my knife. I'm mostly just pulling with my hand and letting my knife just do the cutting. Just kind of work your way down here, right in between her legs. And I also forgot to mention, these are her teats. You want to make sure you miss those. Cut around those. We'll cut around those on both sides. And you cut right down. You can see her legs split apart right here. And if you push on it, you'll be able to feel it. Take your knife. And just touch it. And it should just basically come right apart. Take it all the way down to the bone. Here comes the messy part. They make these gloves that are really nice. They go all the way up to your shoulders. I highly recommend them. I have a pair, but they're in the truck. And actually, you can see I hit the stomach there, and it smells pretty awful. Okay, there's a lining in the chest that separates the guts from the vitals. Okay, you need to cut that lining out with your knife so you can reach up in there. It just goes all the way around. It's just a little, just separates it. You can see it there. You want to cut that all the way around. Okay, now you want to reach up as far as you can. And my hand is actually right about here. And there's their feeding tube, their esophagus. And you want to cut that as high as you possibly can. This is to preserve the meat, because if you don't do that, you're going to have you have a better chance of your meat spoiling. And you owe it to this animal to use the meat. Okay, now you want to cut around that sack, or milk sack here. And with a male deer, basically you just cut around his wiener. Cut all the way around that. Now, they make saws for this. You should be able to put your knife away. And you grab your saw. I do believe I have one. Well, I don't have the saw, but I have a saw. Somewhere. That's not it. There it is. Okay, we have our saw, and where we cut down to the bone here on the pelvis, we want to cut that. We want to saw it out. I've seen my dad pop it with a knife before, but that didn't look like too much fun, so this is the best way to do it. Hear that pop? Just keep going. So you're all the way through that bone. You want to make sure those legs are spread out. Okay. Don't forget where you put your tools. I've lost like 3 or 4 knives next to deer because I don't remember where I put them. You basically, from here on out, you grab up as far as you can and you just pull. Now that lining is, I need to cut that a little bit better because see that? It was hanging on there. So just pull it on down. Yeah. Make sure you get that lining real good, otherwise you're gonna be, it wants to hang on. Just pull it through that opening we cut. Right out the butt. Just like that. Make sure you clean that out real good. You know, just want to make sure we get it real clean here. And yeah, this is kind of gross, but you have to do it if you want to eat your meat, because if you don't, especially in early October like it is today, this meat will spoil real quick with all those guts in there. You don't want to have the meat spoil. And those gloves, they go all the way up to your shoulder. They're basically just like garbage bags. Go all the way up to your shoulder and you just peel them off and you don't have bloody hands like this. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to take her, we're going to drag her, and put her uphill. Just like this. Let her drain out, you know. Clean out any extra little stuff still hanging on. Much as possible you want to get out. And most of that's just fat, but I still like to get it all out, or as much as I can anyway. You want to make sure you throw ice in here. I throw a couple 5-pound bags in. I throw one up on the chest cavity and one on the legs here, because you want to get that meat cooled down so it doesn't spoil. Now comes the really fun part. dragging the deer through the woods.